Hi friends, Mindy here. I am going to be doing a flip through of one of my journaling Bibles here. A while back I had asked on Instagram for some video suggestions while I was challenging myself to do 30 videos in 30 days. And Jackie suggested seeing a flip through. So Jackie, if you're watching, this one is for you. I wasn't sure which Bible to flip through, so I went ahead and decided I would go through my very first journaling Bible. And you'll see that there's not very many entries in this Bible, and there's some reasons for that, which I'll talk about. There's about 30 entries in here. You can see it's starting to get kind of fat, but this journaling Bible just, it means a lot to me for a lot of reasons. So just to give some backstory, a little bit of my story for you. I have been a paper crafter for over 20 years. I started with card making and scrapbooking, and I got into mixed media stuff along the way, and art journaling and all those kinds of things. And about the end of, I think, 2014, I discovered Bible journaling sometime in there. And so for my birthday, I got my very first journaling Bible, which is this one, and it is a King James journaling Bible. You cannot find this particular Bible in print anymore. The ones that I have seen that say that they're in print, that have the same like ISBN, say that they're misprinted or whatever. Mine is not that way, so they're like offshoots or whatever. But so that's one of the reasons why I don't journal in this Bible very much, is because I really, really love this Bible, and I'm trying to keep it for as long as I can. So I'll do an entry every once in a while, but you'll see as I'm going through here kind of a wide variety from my very first entries up until some more recent ones. But anyway, I got this Bible for my birthday that year in 2015, and it took me until I think October before I actually worked up the nerve to journal in it for the first time. And part of that was just circumstantial. My mom had moved to the state where I was in to get some cancer treatment at the Cancer Treatment Centers of America here, and so I was her caregiver while she was here, and I didn't have a lot of time, but I just kept coming back to this periodically. So anyway, it took me a little while, which is one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of entries in here. And then as it started to fill up, I realized that this particular Bible was not in print anymore. So I want to just talk about one of the reasons why I'm particular about this Bible. And let me flip to a page. You can see this is one of the few Bibles that has bright white pages, and they're actually pretty thick, and it's a really easily readable font. There's only about a 2.5 inch margin, and it's lined, so that is off-putting for some people, but this was my first Bible. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to do this in chronological order, I'm just going to do a flip from the beginning to the end. But I just kind of wanted to explain. And also I have, I think, 4 or 5 different journaling Bibles. And then if you've followed me on Instagram at all, you'll see a lot of what I do is actually outside of my Bible. I do a lot of journaling in traveler's notebooks or in books that I create, junk journals or whatever, just because I can get more texture and more layers, and not, otherwise I'd be filling up a Bible probably every couple months, just because they would get too thick to be able to work in. So anyway, with that in mind, I'll just kind of start here at the beginning. I don't have a lot of, probably should have marked some of these, but I don't have every entry marked. I'll try to go through. This is one that I created several years ago, and this is just some paint in the margins and some artist pens, and I just created this. This is here in Joshua 24. And then this one here is also from 2017, and I just did some art, some like script, and then I did a journal. These are actually lyrics to a song, but it came to me as I was studying about Eli and Samuel. So I just did some lyrics to a song and then journaled there. Most of these pages you'll see are, you know, they're really kind of simple pages. So this next one, I actually think, I'm not sure. Like I said, I have, you know, a lot of space in between. This one was 2019. This is one of the By the Will for God devotionals. And this was another one of the By the Will for God devotionals. Something about his rest. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. So apologize. I won't be able to remember all of the kit names. But this was from that devotional. This one was just kind of working through some notes from this particular Psalm 34. And you can see I just put some letter stickers down and just really kind of made some notes here. And then this one is from an Illustrated Faith devotional. And this one is in Psalm 37. The next one here, this is another one of the By the Will for God devotionals. This was in October of 2019. And then this one, this here is, I literally just put some Illustrated Faith stickers down on a background. And this is Psalm 46:1. I did this particular one because this was my mom's favorite verse. And so I created this page a month after she passed away. Just kind of, you know, I just wanted to signify that verse because she quoted it all the time. So this one, it was called A Heart at Rest. That's what it was called. Here's another entry from that. That whole devotional, I believe, I journaled in this Bible with the exception of a couple entries. So that's what I have here. And that was kind of when I realized that if I go through a bunch of devotionals in this Bible, it's going to fill up really quickly. And I didn't want to have to retire this Bible because I can't find another one that's similar to it. So now eventually I've gotten into, you know, Bibles with wider margins, and eventually I would like to get myself an interleaved Bible, but I haven't gotten there yet. So I have several Bibles that I'm working out of, 4 or 5 of them, and none of them are full, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish this flip through. So this is another one from A Heart at Rest. This was such an impactful study, and that was why I decided that I wanted to journal it in this particular Bible. Some more in Psalms. This is probably one of my favorite pages that I think I did in this particular Bible. Just really simple. Just kind of mimicking the imagery from that devotional. This one is one where I was really kind of studying through some of the Psalms, and I don't think you can tell. This is one of the very few times where I did some page prep. So there's a coat of, I think it was matte medium on here, and that allowed me to use the Pit Artist markers, Pit brush pens, to kind of do some coloring and shading, and that's what I did here. And this was an entry from 2015. And this is another entry from A Heart at Rest. That was October of 2019. This one is just one that I created. Again, it was done that same exact way. There's a layer of matte medium on the back just to kind of protect the pages, and that allowed me to use my Pitt big brush markers without having to worry about bleed through. You can see it still bled through just a little bit, but that's okay. And I just freehanded this and colored it in, and then did some lettering there. So some of this was again from 2015. Some of these are my early entries, and so they're kind of simple, but that's okay. This one I think might have actually been my very first entry in this Bible. This was October of 2015, and I just used some distress inks, and again I just have some things stenciled on here, and then I did some hand lettering in the margin. And whenever possible, I try not to cover up the word. That's just personal preference. I know other people don't have a problem with that, and I'm not judging. That's just my own personal preference and whenever possible to not cover it up. And so this is a good example about how I kind of get around that when I'm working in a Bible, especially that has a small margin. And so what I did here is I created this little pocket, and there's actually a clear pocket here, so I can read all of the scripture, and then I still have my elements kind of tucked in to this little pocket here. This is another entry from A Heart at Rest. Again, just a little real simple image down here, and then some notes that I wanted to remember from that devotional. This is an entry. This was a printable from Faith Heirlooms. This was actually one that I did last year. And then we all have, I think, those pages. I'm just gonna say this before I turn the page, but that just don't turn out, you know, how you expect them to. And there's been a lot about people feeling like, you know, oh no, I've ruined my Bible, or I've, you know, whatever. And so this next page I'm going to show is one of those times for me. So I was trying to do something different, and I had put down a layer of matte medium, and then I had done marker over the top, and I was trying to create this tree. And I just, in the process of trying to fix all of the things that I didn't like about it, I just kept getting kind of worse and worse, and then part of it became really hard to read. And so this is not necessarily my favorite entry, but at the same time, again, this is October of 2015. It just kind of shows my progress through as I was just trying to get more comfortable working in my Bible and doing different kinds of entries. And it was really more about the message and the time than how my page ended up looking. So keep that in mind. If you come to a page, you know, they don't all have to be priceless works of art or whatever. Sometimes you have a page that doesn't turn out, and it's okay, because it's really more about the time that you spent studying the word and gleaning. And I'll never forget the lesson that I learned while I was doing this page. So just keep that in mind if you ever come across that where you're feeling bad about an entry that you've done. I don't think I have any through here. I tried in this Bible, I think, for the most part, to make little tabs on each of them. So this one was in 2017. This is not from a devotional or anything. This is just something that I drew just based on this scripture here in Matthew about being the light of the world. And here is another entry from A Heart at Rest. That one is 2019. You can see they're kind of going back and forth. This one here, this is in Matthew. This is about the parable of the sower and all the different grounds. This was actually, it's kind of hard to explain, but this kind of image of this like walkway and all these different kinds of grounds actually came to me as my husband was giving a message one time in church. And so when I got home, I just kind of drew it out, and this is what happened. I'm not an artist. I cannot draw. That's why I rely on the artwork of other people. I cannot draw. My daughter is very gifted in that area, but that is not my skill set. So anyway, that was just my little attempt at it there. And I think I skipped through the next couple books here. And here is another entry. This is from an illustrated faith devotional here. And words are something that are really powerful to me, and I do a lot with that. They just speak to me. So I have a lot of just different words that I was trying to emphasize in this entry. This is a very old entry as well from 2017. And there's just some background, gesso in the background here to kind of cover up the lines. I was just kind of experimenting with that. And then some stickers, and not much to that one. This is another entry from Heart at Rest. And again, I just kind of was covering up the lines in the margin with some of the papers and things. So, and I feel like I have skipped some entries that I know are in here somewhere, but I must not have them marked. Anyway, this is Philippians 4:8, another little, just very crude drawing. This is from January of 2016. So I was just kind of trying things out, seeing what I liked to do and how, you know, which different kind of things worked for me and different mediums and how they worked in my book, in my particular Bible. That's the other thing I would say too. You hear a lot of people asking like, what will work in this, you know, and what works in this Bible. The things that I can do on the pages of this Bible because of the type of paper that's in it is much different than even other Bibles that I have. So you always have to test it, and you're just never going to know until you do it in the pages of your own Bible. So just try out your things and see, you know, see how it works. So this one actually was done with colored pencil. And this was based on another service that we had at church where and my husband had given a message about all of us kind of being tied together in, you know, in our assembly. And I just kind of saw this, and I just drew that out with some colored pencil. That's a really good medium to use if you're wanting to kind of cover your page or color on your page without covering the words, because I can still read all the way through there. I mean, you might not be able to see that in the video, but up close, you can totally read everything that's in there. So this is another entry from an illustrated faith devotional. It was Rooted. That's what that one was. And then here's another entry from A Heart at Rest. This one I just watercolored in the background. You can tell, you know, I got a little heavy-handed, so some people will tell you that watercolor doesn't bleed through, but it just depends on how you do it, because I had a little bleed through issue here, which is fine. It doesn't bother me, but that's what I'm saying about you just kind of have to try things out for yourself. So this next one, this is another just colored pencil drawing. Talking about in Hebrews that the hope we have as an anchor for the soul. And this was in 2017 as well. This is another simple entry. This one, this was in September of 2018. And it was just, you know, we're talking about running our race with patience. And I just had this little image, and I just wanted to, there was a lot that the Lord was showing me about just like running, you know, toward the goal and just different things. And that was just a very personal thing, but that was the imagery that just kept coming to my mind. And so I wanted to include that here in this particular Bible. And then this one is 1 John, talking about walking in the light. I was doing a Bible study by Kelly Minter, and there was a line in that Bible study that was talking about walking in a way that is congruent with your love for Jesus. And that line just really stuck with me. And so that's why I included that in this particular Bible here. If you've never done a Kelly Minter Bible study, I would highly suggest it. They're really, really good. That was a side note. Anyway, this one in Revelations, behold, I stand at the door and knock. I just drew that, and I believe that's watercolor that I did there, just watercolor and pen. And this one, these were some printables from Faith Heirlooms, I think. And another illustrated faith page here. So this one was from 2021, and this one was from 2020. And I think that's it. And then you can see in the back, this is what I was talking about. You kind of have to just, you know, I test all the things on these kind of extra pages back here. So these are all my experiments about what bleeds through and what just shadows and all of those different things. So this, like I said, was my very first Bible. I would do some things different, like these tabs. You can see it's kind of torn my page here. I can fix that. But so this is the Bible that even when I am working in all my other Bibles, this Bible sits on my desk. I prefer to use the King James Version. That's, again, personal preference. And so I will reference this Bible a lot when I am doing studies. And other devotionals, I like to do kind of comparisons between the different translations and everything. So anyway, I hope that this encouraged you. This is, you know, kind of the very start of my journey, even to, you know, some of my entries in the last couple of years. You can see, like I said, it's not full, and I will continue to add entries in it here and there as we go through. It just depends. I can't explain why I work in one Bible or another or whatever. It's just whatever I'm feeling to do at that time. So anyway, if you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. That just really helps my channel. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And until next time, bye-bye.